We have our next speaker online with us, Dmitry Orlov. So I would like to give a brief introduction of Dmitry Orlov before he starts his presentation. Yes, please, please. Everyone, so they're coming slowly. Yes. Thank you. So Dmitry Orlov is Master of Sciences in Technical Physics, General Manager at the BioWell company since 2014 that produces BioWell devices and software. Founder and General Director at AVD company, which does study of human ecology and living space ecology and their interconnection. He published more than 20 papers in different journals and international conferences. He authored various tutorials in EPI, GDV, and BioWell. He is the author of the book, Please Don't Change the World, Change the World Within, which has been translated into 7 languages and published on Amazon. He is a winner of Jacques Beneviste Award for development of methodology of space and water measurement with the use of EPI GDV technology. 3 years in a row, he has won STED grant of St. Petersburg government for the work with EPI GDV technologies, which is a study of the ultra-weak influences on water. Dmitry is one of the leading specialists in the world in the field of GDV technologies. He has conducted training seminars, presented EPI GDV technology, took part in the international conferences worldwide in 38 countries over 6 continents. Today, with Professor Korotkov, he has developed technology of space measurement using EPI GDV method and constructed new type of sensor, GDV Sputnik. Dmitry has also developed a unique methodology for assessment of the activity of the space. So today we are very happy and fortunate to have him here via Zoom. And the title of his talk is Humankind is Still Very Young, Don't Judge Too Hard, We Need More Time. So the stage is yours now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for introduction. Just wanted to ask if you can hear me well.
Yes, we can hear you properly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so first of all, thank you very much for inviting me to present on this conference for the 3rd time already. So previous 2 times I was able to come and participate live. Well, this time, I just returned back from a business trip to Malaysia and couldn't make it to Switzerland. Just 2nd trip within a month is too much. My family missed a lot. So, sorry, but this time I will speak through Zoom. I remember the first time my topic was more about the GDV and BioWell technology. 2nd time I was more talking about my personal spiritual quest and more related to the topics of the book that I have written. This time I will just share my thoughts about the main topic of the conference, like science and spiritual quests, how these 2 things coordinate, cooperate, and from different aspects. So you see that usually when I'm giving classes on BioWell and there are like medical doctors sitting in the audience, even though I don't have any medical education or psychological education, it's still okay because nobody was complaining until now for 10 years of me giving classes. Because my conclusions are mainly based on just logic. As a technical scientist, I just apply logic, and if it's logic, it makes sense, and it's easy for other people to understand something that is logically connected. So during this short speech, because I'm not used to present within half an hour, but it will be like a TED talk, half an hour, very dense. And I will look at the aspect of cooperation of science and spirituality from different aspects. And well, the first quotations in which limits we will be talking about. Things are changing, but nothing changes, and still there are changes. Well, it's really complicated to understand and embrace and fully, grasp the meaning of 3 lines only. But if you read the second quote, "Thought spoken is already a lie," told by Russian poet Tuchev in 19th century. Well, we are all very limited, because whenever we try to put our ideas, our thoughts into words, we're limited, because words have limited meanings, and it's very hard to explain different things and different phenomena in words, because words are too limited. So knowing this and knowing that we are limited in words, we will try still to understand the topic that we'll be talking about. So you see that I was a PhD student of Dr. Korotkov for 5 years, and of course one of the subjects that we had to study very thoroughly in the university is the history and philosophy of science. And well, when you're just studying in university, you don't pay too much attention to that maybe, but it was an interesting fact for me to know that actually science has got free, more or less free, it depends on the country and place on earth, from blockage from religions not so long ago. So actually, if you look at the picture on this slide about Giordano Bruno, who was burnt on the fire for just saying that maybe Earth is not the center of the universe and there's something else there, and that is the Earth is rotating around the sun. Well, George didn't like that, and he was burned. So actually, the relationships between the church and the science is really, really difficult. Well, most of you have heard the name of Avicenna, who was one of the first to do some surgical operations and to study what's really inside the human being. Whilst this was strictly prohibited and forbidden by the church at those years, because everything that is about human should be controlled by church. So science and religion are having very dense, very difficult relationships in history. And actually, religion was, church was trying to control what can be found and what can be learned about human being, and all these studies of consciousness and studies of mindset and all these things and studies of the brain. You can't imagine even simply a couple of centuries ago, maybe even 1 century ago, it was still very strict. So actually, if we talk, why I have named my topic like we're still very young, actually our humankind and the way of this relationship between science and religion and science and spirituality is really, really young. Well, first of all, of course, when we're talking about the European culture, of course, the relationship between science and religion in Asia is quite different. So if we talk about India and China, one of the oldest cultures on this planet, well, their relationship between science and religion are different. That's why the development and the most ancient wisdom traditions are coming from those areas. So, just to understand at what stage we're living now in terms of relationships between these two terms, is that just imagine, like only your grandparents or great-grandparents were living in this situation when there was no total overall education in the country, in most of the countries in the world. Only in the middle of the previous century, the total education has become something normal, while it was firstly implied in Soviet Union, when everyone had the opportunity to go to school for free. So, of course, before that, most of the humankind, like or most of the population of our planet, had very low level of education overall. Few people could read, few people could write, so, and books and all the literature were saved and preserved in different churches and monasteries. So for the rest, it was actually some very small places on planets where you could find some wisdom, so where you can actually learn something about spirituality and like different, wisdom traditions. So there were few places where you can actually get information. You should, at those just 100 years back, you had to really move somewhere very far away from your home in order to find the place where some books are, whilst if we you had to, to do pilgrimage or something like that, like travel long distances to find information, right? Whilst nowadays, it seems like it's all different, right? Satellites roaming around our planet. We have plenty of information through internet. We are non-stop connected to our smartphones. And it seems to us like it has been like that always. While smartphones just appeared like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, the first, 2007, before just cell phones. But it means that humankind is not yet adjusted to this level of development of science. So we are immersed in information now. It's from coming to us from everywhere, but we are not used to this situation. We are not used to live this, and we are not adapted yet to this. We are constantly connected to the screens of smartphones non-stop. When we wake up, the first thing we do, we switch on the smartphone to check what's there. And it's not even one generation that has passed living in these conditions. So of course, it's difficult. And it will take several generations for us to get adjusted to this density of information coming. So the problem nowadays is not to find the information, because just go to internet, go to the library, you can get any information you like. At least, well, in some cases, you just find the direction where to go, at least. But it means that now, in abundance of information, the main problem is how to filter this information. So, because there's too much of fake information nowadays, so now you need to know how to differentiate the real information from the fake one. And it's another task for a human being. While 100 years back, the people, souls that got incarnated, the life of them was absolutely different, and they had different aims in life, different tasks to complete, so different quests to complete. So nowadays we have absolutely different environment, and we have different tasks to be completed. So, and of course, with the new level of knowledge that we have now, we have new level of questions to the same topics that we knew long ago. So, as an example, why I'm talking about this at this level is that, for example, the studies of energy and meridians, studies of doshas, in Ayurveda, for example, or TCM, the meridians? Well, they are known for thousands of years, but now at the current level of development of the science, people need proofs for things that were known for thousands of years. Now, well, you just say that the meridians are there, they say, right, okay, prove me. So people, because they have higher level of education in general worldwide, they need more proofs for the previously just known facts. So, for example, the presence of these meridians in the technology with which I work, the fact that our human body, you can extract electrons flow from the fingers or from any part of the body, but actually the acupuncture points are there on the fingertips. You can get the images of these fingers and correlating the emission from different parts of 10 fingers, you can henceforth talk about the energy state of different organs and systems in the body. Whilst previous ages, well, it's biowell is based on sujok. Well, it's been known without these new technologies. Those doctors 100 years back knew all this stuff without all this high tech and high voltage, etc., that we are using now in order to visualize, to prove to the new generations that things that were known are really there, they really exist. So it means that nowadays the science has one of the tasks to prove things that were already proven before at the previous level of knowledge, and now we have to prove the same things at new level of knowledge. So now we talk about consciousness, now we talk about mind, because we have all these different encephalographies and different ways of studying the brain and what's going on there, and how do we really perceive the light. And like in the previous lecture, it was stated that there are no colors actually. The colors are here, inside the brain. All the coloring is there. So that's why, for example, people who cannot distinguish green and red, it's just they have different palette. That's it. Yeah, so what? Not a big problem. So that's what we are facing in our technology too, that now we have to prove again things that were already known. And another aspect, the way Ayurvedic medicine perceived the human being, known for thousands of years, now knowing the medicine, knowing what's going on inside, all those hormones, pheromones, and different bacteria and etc. that are living inside of us, different toxins, we can understand what was told and what was taught in Ayurveda from different perspectives. For example, I just want to share a concept of illness development according to Ayurveda. So, where you can look at the human being from a perspective of a hardware and software, like a computer, like a complex system, because now we have IT technology, like information technologies, and we have computers, we use smartphones, and we all aware of what is hardware and what is software. We know that there is an information, like an operating system, that can be installed on any computer. So it means that hardware and software are just two independent things. So that's why when we talk about these things, having these information technologies nowadays, it's easier to understand these concepts. So let's look at it. Just to keep an intrigue, we'll start from the last stage of illness development in the human body according to this Ayurvedic concept. The sixth stage is pathology. When it's already time to do some surgical operation, it's time to take pills, go to hospital, too late to take preventive steps. So usually most of the male patients are visiting doctors at this stage because they usually wait till the end. And only if they have very good wives, they are forced to come to doctors earlier, right? So And the fifth stage, the earlier stage, is the symptomatic stage, when you have already some discomfort, some unease, some symptoms, but you still can live with them. You can continue working and functioning, but well, it's up to you. If you don't want to go to the sixth stage, you can take care of the symptoms. Well, actually, modern allopathic medicine is mainly concentrated in these two levels. So with the pills and surgical operations, they can deal with many various symptoms and pathologies. So, but where we get these symptoms from, according to Ayurveda, it's about garbage that is getting accumulated in our body, the toxins. So when there is too much of toxins in any part of the body, you will get some symptoms, and then if you don't do anything with them, you will get some illness, some pathology. So where do we get these toxins from? From metabolic activity. So some chemical processes going on in our body. If they are not fulfilled completely, or there's not enough of some minerals, vitamins, etc., then they will not be fulfilled as they should be. So it will create those residuals, those garbage and toxins. So actually, integrative medicine is mainly concentrated on these two levels because metabolic activity is about balancing the person, the processes there, and number 4 is about cleaning, detoxification. So if you go to any integrative medicine clinic, you will be offered different types of therapies that will either balance you, either clean you, detox you. That's it. So, but there are other levels right here. So these 4 levels are our hardware level. Yep, the flesh, skin and bones. So that's how our hardware works. But Ayurvedic medicine knew this thousands of years back, that there is something above that. And level 2 is our lifestyle. It's how do we actually live on all different aspects of life. So it's not only about what do we eat and what do we drink, but it's how we refer to ourselves. It's how do we, deal with other people, with animals, with planet, environment, etc. Whatever is in your life, inner life or external life, it's all your lifestyle. So all this will create different imbalances in metabolic activity. So that will lead to toxification, symptoms, pathologies, etc. So where do we get this lifestyle from? It's here. And Ayurveda knew it thousands of years back. It's our mindset, or you can call it, it can be your constitution, set of laws according to which you live your life. So this is already, the mindset is just information. It's just set of rules according to which you live, specific lifestyle. So the mindset and lifestyle are controlling the hardware, right? So, but already now, when we live in 21st century with all the computers, etc., and coding and programming, we know that if there is something, some information existing, some set of rules composed in some specific way, it means there should be some author, right? Who has written this specific set of rules that are installed on you? Just think about it. So you are living some specific lifestyle according to the rules that you personally have, and who is the author of these rules? So the author, well, you can call it soul, you can call it consciousness, it depends, it's up to the religion that you confess, up to you. But there is some information field, quantum field, whatever you call it, author, the composer of this mindset, and who is able to actually collaborate with it, use it, and edit it, what is most significantly. So it's the software level. So, and the software is information that, it's not tangible, it's just information that it's you cannot measure it and weigh it up as the hardware, right? But still, it's the software level that, again, I read in you long ago. So nowadays, we can more clearly understand what they were talking about. Like, okay, in order to really change our lifestyle and our lives and to get rid of some problems on a hardware, on the body level, we need to change the mindset. So that's the only way to be healthy. So, and not in our practice in the BioWell, we have to, actually prove to people that when we do the measurements with the BioWell, it's not about going and taking pills or passing some specific therapy procedures. It's about changing lifestyle. It means it's about changing the mindset yourself. If you don't change it, all the rest of the therapies are just temporary things. They just add a little bit more time before you die, or just give you a little bit more time to reconsider your lifestyle. So at the current level, we understand that there is some kind of, hardware level and software level compatibility about the body that actually is given to us from our parents with the DNA, that it has nothing to do with the software that is installed here, right? It has something to do with parents, then grandparents, then great-grandparents, great-great, etc. So it's the heritage that we have, but it's a material heritage with which we need to work. And we know now that even though we have the DNA that is, set and defined by our parents, actually there is a way to edit the DNA, to activate and deactivate different chains in the DNA. So there's a methylation and acetylation processes going on there, and it means that, again, you can even rewrite it yourself. So it means the software level is anyway higher in terms of priority and administrative rights in our lives. So, and then this aspect of the soul or something like that, that is actually controlling everything, that is being like a software that is being written down on this material body, that is trying to somehow co-work with this heritage. So it's being understood by our wise people, sages from India, from China, from Vedic culture centuries ago. So now we're re-understanding it again from a different aspect, knowing that there is such thing as DNA, So another aspect from which I want to look at the relationships between science and spirituality is the way we transfer the knowledge. It's a very, very difficult topic, actually. That's why, for example, the name of my book is "Please Don't Change the World." It's change the world within. It's about understanding that it's really hard to transfer some information to another person. Because whenever you are consulting a person, okay, you do the measurements, you have those data sets in your hands, and then you give recommendations to a person, like don't do this, do that, don't do that, etc., like big list of recommendations, and then you think that these recommendations really work. People leave your cabinet and they start applying right away all the recommendations. No way. In most of the cases, they don't. And the more recommendations you give, the lower is the probability that they will actually do something, at least something. So in most of the cases, what I do is that I give one recommendation maximum and ask the person to concentrate only on one topic and forget about the rest. Then there is some probability the person will do something. So it means whenever I pass some knowledge, some information to another person, there is no guarantee that it will be actually used. This is the problem of all the scientists sages, teachers, doctors in all times in humankind. Because we have somehow to share the information in such a way that the person will understand and, well, maybe resonate with it in order to, apply it. And in most cases, when we share the information, and I'm sharing with you now during this presentation, like other presentations on this conference, we are telling you what to do or what kind of interesting facts we have. But you know that for our brain, it's super duper important to understand not only what you recommend, but also why it is like that. Because when you just transfer the peak of the iceberg, like only the essence of the information that you possess as a teacher or as a philosopher, doesn't matter, or as a doctor, you tell them what to do. But in many cases, you just don't have time to explain why you have to do like that. And what happens in their brain is that these new facts that you transfer to them as recommendation, what to do, is like a white cloud in their mindset, because there are no supporting facts, no supporting information in their mindset that will protect this bit of information that you have shared. So why this kind of, fast track doesn't work? Like, okay, I will teach you everything in one day or something like that. It will not work, because if I just give you the essence, okay, in half an hour, in 1 hour, okay, in one day, you will read it, you will listen to it. But as long as the rest of your knowledge doesn't support these facts, they will be erased from your mindset very soon, because they will be like white cloud. And that's why just giving the only what to do is not enough. Actually, we as teachers, doctors, as philosophers, we don't have time to explain why in many cases in our practices. But we need to do that, because without why, people have to do that, they will not do it. Their brain will protect them from these new, unknown, unproven facts. So, and this is the relationship between science and spirituality, from my perspective, because science is about what to do. What is it? And spirituality has to give the fundamental for that. Why you should do that? Okay, we can create an atomic bomb, but why we should do that? Why and how it will be applied? Why should we go in that direction, or why we should go in this direction? Because science can evolve in any directions. It's just, if it gets uncontrolled, then, well, it can create very devastating consequences. Because development of science without spirituality is super dangerous. And that's the time, actually, at which we live now, the last, maybe, 70 years, when humankind already, science, have weapons to completely destroy this planet. Okay, not the planet, let's not overemphasize. We can kill life, at least our type of life, the oxygen life on this planet, easily. And if the science has evolved so much with all these ITs, and there are different other factors, not only these nuclear bombs, etc., but if there is no spirituality supporting it, guiding it, explaining why should we go in this direction, why should we go there and we shouldn't go in that direction, why should we study this and we shouldn't study that. This is a very, very dangerous time we live at now. It's just not so long. It's just life of one generation. And we have to get used to it, or we'll die. That's two options. It's democracy. We have the choice. Either we will learn how to support with the spirituality, the development of science that is super duper fast. With this AI development nowadays, it's really scary what it can do uncontrolled. Without spirituality behind it, and explaining and limiting it in some aspects, like when you bring up a child, I have 3 children, if you don't limit their development, in many cases they will not reach even 10 years old age if you do not control them, their development and their movement and what they do. So same thing about science. Okay, we are curious about too many things. Science is about curiosity. But look, how many people are attending this conference about spirituality? And look how many people are attending just a show off of a new iPhone going up. That's the state of our humankind nowadays. People care much more about new iPhone than about spirituality. So it's the job that we need to do. We should speak the language, the modern language, and we should explain why the spirituality to this development, very fast development of science nowadays. So, and this is the task for a Brahmin scientist teacher, is to somehow deliver this information. And, you know, again, it's a new system that is now, it's called human design. You can easily find it on internet, where they are talking about, again, to my mind, it's Vedic aspect, but still it's from another perspective, that in human design, it's energy related division of people, and the caste of mind people, the ones who works with information and their aim in life is to share information. The biggest problem of this caste or this type of people is that they don't have energy to manifest what they know. Just think about it. Maybe you will not agree, but while I just study this system and observe people around, there are many people who do not possess information, but they have lots of energy to manifest whatever comes up to their mind. But Brahmins, the scientists, they don't have energy to manifest what they have found out, the information that they possess. So they should collaborate with those who have the energy and those who can really manifest what they know. But unfortunately, again, we live in the days when we act too fast and we do too many things without even thinking or consulting a person who really knows. Another aspect to take into consideration of science and spirituality is that any person, any nation is passing through these 3 stages of development, inner development. It doesn't matter, individuals or nations. When we get born, we just we are too dependent on those who have created us, right? Well, for example, as individuals, we are too dependent on the parents. If it's a new nation, new country, it's dependent on those big neighbors who are elder. So then we start evolving. We fight for independence. We try to be independent on all aspects in life as individuals and nations, same story. But unfortunately, nowadays, most of people are stopping at this level of development. They think that independence is the top of the mountain, but it's not. If you think about function and doing something, the interdependence is much more effective than independence. Together, we can do much more than each one independently. And some things can't be done independently. They can be done only in teams. So, and now in humankind at the current moment, with all these struggles between different nations, different countries, it's still the level of independence, fighting for independence, and forgetting about that there is a level of interdependence, that it's more efficient way of living, to being interdependent. So, personal-wise, nation-wise, doesn't matter. So, cooperation is much better than independence. So, and it's another task for scientists, for philosophers, to explain to the world, to those who can really do something and change something, who have the influence, money, power, etc., that cooperation is better. Living together and cooperating, being interdependent is way better than independent. It's about families, by the way, too. There are too many people that are living independent nowadays and not willing to create a family, becoming interdependent. But it's more efficient way of living together. So that's why my message to this world is that we should more concentrate on not just because I'm powerful, I have weapons or tools, money to force you or not a group of people or even nation to do something. We shouldn't impose on others our opinion, our mindset, etc. We can propose. We just need to share the information. This is the main message of my book and in my practice. And I'm understanding whenever I'm cooperating with them, interacting with other people, like, well, you're listening to me now, I clearly understand that I can't teach you anything. You can learn, but I cannot teach you. I cannot force you to learn. It's only your free will if you want to learn, if you want to get this information and study it, etc., and accept it. So, well, we, according to Vedic knowledge, we are in Kali Yuga, like Dark Age, whatever you call it, the time when only young souls are getting incarnated. And but it has and I hear a lot that we are just waiting for the Satya Yuga, for the Golden Age. No, every time of the evolution, when the wheel is rotating, each time is good for something. So now it's the time for the young ones to appear, but it's a good time because it's the past time. What can be like one very wise person in India has told me, the benefit of Kali Yuga is that you can reach something within a day that could have been reached only in months or years in Satya Yuga. So everything is much faster now. So why not? Let's face it, it's the time that we live in. And it's doable, we just need to concentrate on our own responsibilities. And well, if we are those Brahmins, the knowledge people, like according to human design, we are not manifestors, we're projectors. We just can systematize information and then share it. So let's concentrate on that. And well, thanks for giving me a chance to speak here on this Congress, and I thank you all for your attention. It's been a little bit more than 30 minutes, I'm sorry. But it's the first time I read this kind of lecture. Thank you very much, and well, if there are any questions, ready to answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your talk. Are there any questions, really quick questions? Otherwise, we'll just move on to next talk because we're running late and I think we already used 35 minutes. No? Okay, so thank you once again, Dmitry, for your nice presentation. And we look forward to hearing from you in future also.